You know what would be great is if I ever remembered to press go live. All right, let me sum up. There is too much. It's happy hour. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
It's happy hour. Christ. If you need a game code, it's 097364. All right. All set? Here we go. History mystery. Ready? Question 1. You're not going to want to be eating for this one. In 1997, Mike Tyson was famously DQ'd from a boxing match after biting what heavyweight's ear off? We just missed my whole soliloquy about how happy I was to have been given this opportunity to host Triviamatic, and I screwed it up by not actually hitting stream. So anyway, here we are with that. All my viewers left. It's great. I went widescreen today because normally I take great pains to make the background look careful, but I'm like, you know what? If you can't let it hang all out on the last day of your gig, when can you do that? The answer is literally never. All right, the answer to the Mike Tyson question, he bit off the ear of Evander Holyfield. It was known as the bite fight. It's super gross. That's Evander, his good side. All right, here we go. Susu Sewing Shoes, Garrus Vicarian, 10-pound Toblerone, Retread Breadhead, and Shingle Nails, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Bucci, and Jennifer Michael, 6 and 7. Everyone got that question right. That's awesome. All right, let us move on to question 2. In 1462, England coronated her newest king, Edward IV. He fought and played a key role in the Wars of the Roses, battling for what house represented by a white rose? All right. In 1462, England coronated her newest king, Edward IV. He fought and played a key role in the Wars of the Roses, battling for what house represented by a white rose? Remember, the Wars of the Roses were red rose versus white rose. Yep. And it was this house versus that house. And actually, I think both of them are choices here, but only one of them is correct. So let's see what you got. All right. I love my kids' baseball team, but this hat is a little scratchy. I'm wearing it all day. Stay there. All right. The answer is the white rose is the House of York. Someone check me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure the red rose was the House of Lancaster. All right, Susu Sewing Shoes, Shingle Nails, Retread, Breadhead, Garrus Vicarian, Boonchi, Jennifer Michael. Hey, we got some more. 10-pound Toblerone, Chinesky, John Chinesky for the chat, and I am the Lorax, just checking in. All right, let's move on to question 3. Question 3, happy birthday to Kathy Bates. Acting since the late 1970s, Bates quickly rose to prominence, winning an Oscar for her role in Misery, proving she still got it in 2015. She won a Primetime Emmy for her work on what FX anthology? Kathy Bates won a Primetime Emmy in 2015 for her work on what FX anthology? I don't watch scary shows. They keep me up at night. Now there's a personal detail you know about me. Hey, since this is in fact the last night of Triviamatic hosting for me, I have put in the lower left-hand corner how to follow me on digital media. We'll get back to that in a second. The answer is American Horror Story. American Horror Story. Speaking of horror stories, Retread Breadhead into first place. Susu Sewing Shoes, Shingle Nails, Garrus Vicarian, and Bucci. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move on to the next question. Question 4. American Idol alum Kelly Pickler has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Pickles. Well, she's had a very successful post-Idol career, she only placed 6th, and the song that sent her home was What Righteous Brothers tune that's great for pottery making. It sounds like this because it is this. It's this song. I don't think they say the name in the title. Pottery making? Alright. Anyway. Yes. While you're putting in your answer, if you want to follow me after Triviamatic, my Triviamatic career comes to a conclusion, it's at RichCity1 on Twitter and RockCreek_MD on the Instagrams. Alright. Thank you, fellas. That song, of course, is Unchained Melody. There's the pickles. She was great, right? She was great for a laugh. Always quality. Never know what she would say next. Retread Breadhead 179. Chicken Nails right behind 175. Susu Sewing Shoes 169. Garrus Vicarian and Bucci round out the top 5. Let's move on to question 5. This day in 1969 marked the start of the Stonewall Riots, kicking off the modern gay rights movement in the United States. The demonstration took place in what notoriously bohemian Manhattan neighborhood? It bears noting, it was notoriously bohemian in the 60s. Now, like most boho neighborhoods, it's super fancy. It's super fancy? Pretty fancy, right? No? You tell me. Home to a couple clubs that I had the fortune to play in once upon a time. The bitter end, the bottom line. A lot of people played the bitter end. A lot of people played the bottom line. Bottom line, of course, across the street from New York University. And that notoriously bohemian Manhattan neighborhood is Greenwich Village. The Village. That's right. All right, Stonewall Inn received a National Monument sign. Shingle Nails, first place, 221. Retread Breadhead, 220. Susu Sewing Shoes, 216. Bucci and Garrus Vicarian, all members of the 200 Club, so well done. Let's move on to question 6. Happy birthday to famous weirdo Elon Musk. He's famous for super green cars, trying to send people to Mars, and causing stirs on social media. One of those stirs involved an Instagram post of a Tesla-branded version of what Jalisco produced agave alcohol. So, what agave-based alcohol is produced in Jalisco? That is what we are getting on. And apparently, Elon Musk wants a Tesla-branded version of this. Let's see. Do I have something for this? Sure I do. All right, ready? Here you go. Elon Musk wants to make his own version of this. Do. It's made in Jalisco out of agave. Agave is a really big plant. That is all true. Of course, it's tequila. Boom. Leaderboard: Shingle Nails, Susu Sewing Shoes, Garrus Vicarian, and 10-pound Toblerone 1, 2, 3, 4 Retread Breadhead in 5th place. All right, let's move on to question 7. 1980s film icon John Cusack celebrates a birthday today. One of his more memorable trademarks is appearing in movies with sister Joan Cusack. They have appeared in at least 10 movies so far, including what high school reunion comedy? High school reunion comedy. Another hint. Set in the upper Midwest. Let's see. All right. Phone buzzing off the hook. Put a stop to that. That's my mother-in-law. I'm definitely putting a stop to that. All right, so John Cusack and Sister Joan have been in at least 10 movies, including this high school reunion comedy. Other people in this movie include, what's his name? Jeremy Piven. Boom, as the former best friend. And let's see. And also, I can't never remember her name, the British actress. Anyway, it's Grosse Pointe Blank. Grosse Pointe Blank. Great movie. Loved that movie. Let's move on to the leaderboard. Shingle Nails in first place. Susu Sewing Shoes, the first 2 to 300. So good job, everybody. Garrus Vicarian, 10-pound Toblerone, and Retread Breadhead. 3, 4, 5. Let's move on to the last question of round 1. Question 8. World history buffs should know this. June 28th, 1914 marked one of the most important assassinations ever. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife were killed, causing what country to declare war against Serbia? Yikes. This seems like good background thinking music. That's right. It's the band Franz Ferdinand. So, June 28th, 1914 marked one of the most important assassinations ever. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife were killed, causing what country to declare war against Serbia? Serbia. Franz Ferdinand assassinated by agents of Serbia, causing Austria-Hungary to declare war on Serbia. And that is the end of round 1. Alright. Shingle Nails, 361, first place, well done. Susu Sewing Shoes, 350. Garrus Vicarian, 10-pound Toblerone, and Retread Breadhead all join them in the 300 plus club. We got Bucci, Jennifer Michael, I Am the Lorax, Nick, and Christmas John Chinesky with his 1 point, signifying that everyone, everywhere, when playing Triviamatic Happy Hour has a chance. All right, let's move on to round 2. Sand in my pants. Summer means beach time in the northern hemisphere. Anyway, so here is a round of questions of where the water meets the land. Question 1. Nominally about searching for a beach called Boca de Cielo, Y Tu Mama Tambien is the critically acclaimed coming-of-age saga by what director who would later win Oscars for Gravity and Roma? So nominally about searching for a beach named Boca de Cielo, Y Tu Mama Tambien is the critically acclaimed coming-of-age movie by what director who would later win Oscars for Gravity and Roma? Right? Roma, the released on Netflix black and white movie. I think it won Best Picture like last year, right? Last year, 2 years ago. Y Tu Mama Tambien, before you attempt to watch it with your teenagers, I recommend you don't do that. You're just going to have to trust me, even though it is a fantastic work by Alfonso Cuarón. Yep. Film garnered an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay and furthered the careers of Diego Luna and Gael Garcia Bernal. All right, Shingle Nails, first 400, well done. Susu Sewing Shoes, 10-pound Toblerone, Garrus Vicarian, Retread Breadhead, all round out the top 5. Question 2. Regarded as the world's longest beach with 150 miles of shoreline, Praia do Cassino can be found in what country? Home to cachaça, capoeira, and o jogo bonito. Let's see, what do I got for this? Do I have something for this? I don't have something for this. That's okay. All right. Regarded as the world's longest beach with 150 miles of shoreline, Praia do Cassino can be found in what country? Home to cachaça, a sugarcane liqueur, capoeira, dance fighting, and o jogo bonito, which translated in this language into English means the beautiful game. which was a phrase popularized by a national of this country who happened to be named Pelé, and that makes this country Brazil. There you go. Garrus Vicarian 416, 10-pound Toblerone 407, Shingle Nails 406, Retread Breadhead, and Susu Sewing Shoes round out the top 5. All right, let's move on to question 3. Surfing was introduced to the East Coast in 1909 at Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, which served as the backdrop to what late 1990s TV teen drama starring James Vanderbeek, Katie Holmes, and Josh Jackson, and had this theme song by Paula Cole.
So open up your morning light, say a little prayer for I. You know that if we are to stay alive, we'll see the peace in every eye.
I never watched this show, but Paula Cole is a great artist. And this is the theme song to a late 90s teen drama starring James Vanderbeek, Katie Holmes, and Josh Jackson, known as Dawson's Creek. Yup, Dawson's Creek. Surfing was introduced to the United States in July 1885 in Santa Cruz, California, by 3 Hawaiian princes. Garrus Vicarian in the lead, 462, 10-pound Toblerone, Shingle Nails, second and third. All right, question 4. Horseshoe crabs are frequent visitors to the eastern and Gulf coasts. Actually, they are only found there and in China. Their blue blood is prized and harvested because of its sensitivity to which of the following? Horseshoe crabs are frequent visitors to the eastern and Gulf coasts. Their blue blood is prized and harvested because of its sensitivity to which of these? It's one of these rare species that they milk to harvest blood, then they treat the animals back to health, then they release them again. But my understanding is that they have created a lab genetically spiced version of the horseshoe crab blood that doesn't harm animals. It is sensitive to toxins. So what they do is they harvest the blood, and it's so coagulative that they use it to test whether there are any toxins in lab materials, because it'll turn blue and coagulate nearly immediately if there's any trace of anything. So that's that. Shingle Nails, 491 in first place. 10-pound Toblerone, Susu Sewing Shoes, Garrus Vicarian, and Bunchi round out the top 5. So let's move to question 5. This is a trick, so listen carefully. I know it's a trick because I wrote this round. Now you know. Operation Overlord was the name of the plan for the 1944 Allied incursion into Western Europe, but the plan for the actual Normandy landings were known by what code name, also the name of a Roman god of the sea? This is true. I looked up this question a long time, looking for supporting details. Not surprisingly, while sitting on the beach, while drinking one of these. Third Wave Brewing Company in Delmar, Delaware. And writing questions about the beach. The power of persuasion, it's something else. Cheers. So, Operation Overlord was the name of the plan for the 1944 Allied incursion into Western Europe, but the plan for the actual Normandy landings were known by the code name, also the name of a Roman god of the sea, the Roman god of the sea, Neptune. Neptune was preceded by Bodyguard, a disinformation campaign intended to hide the details of the landing, but not good enough to throw off Shingle Nails, who was in first place, and 10-pound Toblerone, and Susu Sewing Shoes, and Garrus Vicarian, the top 4, and the current members of the 500 Club. So well done. All right. Question 6. Wind Beneath My Wings was a massive hit song from the movie Beaches, performed by what vocalist whose platinum debut album, The Divine Miss M, was produced by Barry Manilow? I did not know that. All this time I thought Barry Manilow was the Divine Miss M. But no, in fact, it's this song here. Got to love 80s synth music. Do I have one of those here? No, I'm gonna leave the professionals do it. I'll just sit here and dream about holding somebody's hand. Jump ahead a little bit. Right. Okay. Bette Midler. Behold all the green. Well done, everybody. Is Nick out getting a beer? He must be. Hey, more power to you, baby. Anyway, he's in 9th place. Let us move on to question 7. Ready for this? Black sand beaches are often found near volcanoes. The color is derived from what salty rock? The same family as the majority of lunar samples collected by the Apollo moon missions. What salty rock? Oh, I guess I put salt in all the... Yeah. Okay, let me give you one. Epsom salt is the thing that people soak their feet in. This is not that one. It's also not black, if you've ever soaked your feet in Epsom salts. Anyway, black sand beaches are pretty cool to see. They're often found near volcanoes, active or dormant. The color is derived from what rock? The same family as the majority of lunar samples collected by the Apollo moon missions. It's basalt. About 90% of volcanic rock is basalt. Very dense crystalline structure of basalt. 10-pound Toblerone and Garrus Vicarian 1-2, members of the 600 Club. Well done. Shingle Nails right behind. Retread Breadhead, Susu Sewing Shoes, Bucci, Jennifer Michael, I Am the Lorax, Nick, and Chinesky. That is our player board for tonight. Let's move on to the last question, round 2. Surf music took hold in the late 1950s, powered by instruments and amps made by what company that shares a name with a car part? Can't believe I don't have music for that. I gotta have music for this. Yeah, here we go. Though frankly, there's so much, right? That's, of course, Misery Lou by Dick Dale and his Deltones. And he is playing a guitar called a Telecaster, made by what company that shares the name with a car part? That is the Fender. Fender's Stratocaster, the Tele, and the Precision Bass are all important contributors to the surf sound. And that is the end of round 2. 10-pound Toblerone, 665, 1 point away from the Devil's score. Garrus Vicarian, just right behind. Well done, Garrus. Shingle Nails, 3rd place. Retread Breadhead, Susu Sewing Shoes round up the top 5. The 6 through 10, Bucci, Jennifer Michael, I Am the Lorax, Nick, and Chinesky. So let's move on to round 3. All together now in concert, a round about something that we love to do but is unavailable to most of us right now. Live music and or performances. By the way, a shameless plug for something that I love. If you don't have Disney Plus, I recommend you at least get a trial for Friday, July 3rd, when the Hamilton film drops. Of course, this is a double This is a multi-cameral shoot of Hamilton the musical, with close-ups filmed offline. But they did 2 filmings with the original cast before they broke up, and sewed it into a movie, and it's dropping on Friday, and it is going to be epic. All right, here we go. Question 1. Billed as the world's largest music festival, Summerfest takes place in what Midwestern city on the western shore of Lake Michigan, home to Brewers and the Brewers? I did not know when I was writing this question. Oh yeah, I wrote this round. That 2 of these cities were on the western coast of Lake Michigan. Yes, Summerfest is also the home of Laverne and Shirley. So that'll help. I'll tell you what. If Summerfest is hosted by barbershop quartet singers, then Kenosha is your place. But it's not, and it isn't. So you can scratch that one off. Summerfest takes place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Claims to host 800 bands and 900,000 fans, 11 stages, 11 days, and is not happening this summer. Super sad. So, 10-pound Toblerone, Garris Vicarian, Shingle Nails, 1, 2, and 3. Question 2. Which of these types of music shares its name with software designed to help people easily navigate the World Wide Web? Which of these types of music shares its name with software, a web browser, designed to help people easily navigate the World Wide Web? Yes, it's a browser. So which of these types of music? It's not drum circle. Can you imagine? W dot G. Yeah. Okay. It's Opera. It's actually a Danish web browser, I think. IBM donated Lotus Symphony to the Apache Software Foundation, where it became Open Office. If you need a free online word processing suite, Apache are your people. 10-pound Toblerone, Shingle Nails, Garris Vicarian. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Question 3. Live Aid was a pair of simultaneous concerts held for charity on July 13th, 1985 at Wembley Stadium and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, organized by Bob Geldof, lead singer of what European new wave band? Here was their big hit. Their big hit was called I Don't Like Mondays. The band was called Garfield. No, it was not called Garfield. So, I remember Live Aid, listening to it on the radio. July 13th, 1985 was the day that I came back from summer camp, and I insisted that my parents allow me to use my Walkman FM radio to listen to the broadcast. Yes, that raspy-voiced philanthropic genius is Bob Geldof of the Boomtown Rats. There he is in a little box. All right, 10-pound Toblerone, first to 800, well done. Shingle Nails right behind 776. Susu Sewing Shoes, Retread, Breadhead, and Garris Vicarian round out the top 5. So let's move on to question 4. It's not a little concert. A concertina belongs to what family of instruments that you might find in tango or polka? Let's see. All right. Check this out. This is a concertina, And I'm pretty sure it's being played by the master of the concertina, Astor Piazzolla. And he's being accompanied by the master of the cello, Yo-Yo Ma. This song is called Libertango. Yep. Nice. Dig it. All right. The answer to this question is the family of instruments is called free reed. Free reeds, such as the concertina, accordion, and harmonica, do not rely on the shape of the instrument for their sound, which is what makes them significantly different in this regard to these other instrument families. All right, 10-pound Toblerone, 851 in first place. Well done. Shingle Nail, second place. Retread, Breadhead, Garris Vicarian, Susu Sewing Shoes round out the top 5. Let's move on to question 5. Character actor Charles Grapewin and singer Lillian Russell were among the biggest stars of what type of variety show? A style that originated in France in the late 1800s but became immensely popular in North America in the early 20th century. So, Charles Grapewin and singer Lillian Russell were among the biggest stars of what type of variety show? A style that originated in France in the late 1800s but became immensely popular in North America in the early 20th century. Variety show, variety show. Well, some of these are not, well, I guess it would depend. Well, we are looking for this particular variety show known as vaudeville. Vaudeville. Oh, and there's a concertina. Great. So, vaudeville, natural precursor to these modern day late night TV shows. 10-pound Toblerone, 2 points shy of 900. Well done. Shingle Nails, Retread, Breadhead round out the top 3. Let's move on to question 6. In 1952, in Woodstock, New York, David Tudor premiered John Cage's composition 433, during which he created no traditional sounds from what instrument apart from raising and lowering its lid? I shall play 433 for you now. Get it? So, in 1952 in Woodstock, New York, David Tudor premiered John Cage's composition 433, which is probably well known that the performer doesn't make any noises. David Tudor performed 433 using what instrument apart from raising and lowering the lid? Take a look at these and think of what has lids and what does not have lids. It was the piano. Tudor raised and lowered the lids to mark the beginning and end of each of the 3 movements. If you look at the score of 433, it can actually be played, true story, with any instrument. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. 10-pound Toblerone, there you are, over the 900 line. Well done. Shingle Nails, Retread, Breadhead, Garris Vicarian, and Susu Sewing Shoes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move on to question 7. What hard-driving band, known for Hot for Teacher and Dance the Night Away, famously had a requirement that no brown M&Ms be present backstage? I am going to play Dance the Night Away for you because it is my summer jam. Seriously, if this song doesn't make you happy, well, I don't know. That's your thing. Cheers. So, this band was known for Dance the Night Away and Hot for Teacher, and also having a requirement that no brown M&Ms be backstage. All right. That band is Van Halen. This is actually true. Van Halen had an enormously technical setup Brown M&M's backstage was a signal that the promoter hadn't fully read the stage requirements, and during a show, a piece of expensive lighting fell and damaged the stage, and the story came out. Van Halen doesn't get finds brown M&Ms in a jar backstage and proceeds to trash the setup. David Lee Roth was like, well, I could dispute it, but who am I to get in the way of a good rumor? 10-pound Toblerone, 985, well done. Shingle Nails, 868. Retread Breadhead tied for second place, 868. Garrus Vakarian, Susu Sewing Shoes, 5 members of the 800 Club. Well done. All right, let us move on to the last question of round 3. As an emergency substitute, 19-year-old Arturo Toscanini stepped up and conducted Verdi's Aida entirely from memory on June 25th, 1886, in what South American city known for the Girl from Ipanema and the statue of Christ the Redeemer? I got something for this? Should have something for this. Yeah. Here we go. So this is true. Okay, that's just gonna throw me off. Toscanini was the chorus master and had no conducting experience when the orchestra and the performers all said to the promoters, please fire this conductor. And so they fired him, and they said, well, who do we get to replace him? And they said, well, send up the Bambini. And our 19-year-old Toscanini did a 3-hour Verdi opera completely by memory in Rio de Janeiro. That's a heck of a thing. And that is the end of round 3. £10 Toblerone streaking ahead, 10:32. Well done. Retread Breadhead, 9:15. Also well done. Shingle Nails, 9:07. Excellent work indeed. Everyone's playing really, really strong tonight. Garrus Vakarian, 884. Susu Sewing Shoes, 882. Bucci, 813. I am the Lorax. Jennifer Michael. I guess Nick bailed out early. And John is watching the chat, so he gets a break. Speaking of breaks, what do we got? RAR from the great state of Maryland, where I am. Nantico Connector IPA. I did say I was going to tie it on the last day of work. So, it's pretty good. All right, let's get on, while I let this go. There goes the lid. All right, time for the Pick 3 round. The Pick 3 round works thusly. There's a category that I give you, and 5 choices, and you must pick the 3 that belong to the category. Our illustrious player, I am the Lorax, figured out some time ago that if you pick 3 randomly, you have something like a 70% chance of getting full or partial credit. So pick fast. If you know the category, that's great, but it's better to pick fast. And let's see. Anyway, since the majority of you are watching the feed, I will read it and then hit forward, and then you'll hear the category and then have a chance to get right on it, because I want some number scoring records to go down. It's going to happen. All right, ready? The first category in Pick 3 is movie franchises with more than 5 films. Boom, boom, boom. Movie franchises with more than 5 films. What can I do for you here? Here we go. This is the first one. Dun, 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 dun. Bill Conti gonna make a lot of money. Now it's used at every sporting event. Dun, usually at the end. Good for you, Bill Conti. Do 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 do. That's from Rocky. Fast and the Furious and Star Wars are the other 2. Despicable Me only has 2, 3. Yeah, and Godzilla has 29. So check that out. All right, lots of green, lots of green. Love it. Move on to question 2. Ready? Category 2, typical ingredients in cookie recipes. Typical ingredients in cookie recipes. You could put 2 of these in your cookie recipe, but I don't think it would turn out all that great. And I tell you what, we've been making a lot of quarantine cookies. And I'm pretty sure none of the recipes that we've used have ever incorporated 2 of these. So, typical ingredients in cookie recipes. So now, if you're one of those unfortunate people that has to be gluten-free, first of all, my sympathies, but do what you have to do. And secondly, it would be entirely fair for you to contest the nature of this question because you have special needs. But for everyone else, it's flour, sugar, and eggs. Sounds about right. 10-pound Toblerone, not a typical ingredient in cookie recipes. Retread breadhead, $9.99. Oh, so close. You get there on the next one, I betcha. Shingle nails, Garris, Susu sewing shoes, all members of the 900 Club. Coming up like a house on fire, I am the Lorax, Boonchi, Jennifer, Michael. Not coming up on a house on fire like a house on fire is Nick. And Chinesky holding it on the fort. Good guy that he is. But you're going to pass Nick, right? Like on the last question. Sure you are. All right, ready? Question 3. Ancient wonders of the world. Ancient wonders of the world. Oh, this is a trick question. Yep. This is a trick question. I mean, not a huge trick. It's a little trick. You want to know the trick? The trick is the Sphinx is not considered one of the ancient wonders of the world. That's the trick. Because the one that is considered an ancient wonder of the world is the Great Pyramid of Giza, which means the answer to this is the Library at Alexandria, the Temple of Artemis, and the Colossus of Rhodes. Well, I thought I put Temple of Hyrlocasnus in here, but that's okay. I mean, that's a tricky one. That and Hanging Gardens of Babylon. No one ever seems to get that. So yeah. Did I throw everybody? I threw everybody. Yeah. Didn't stop 10-pound Toblerone, retread breadhead, or shingle nails from getting 1,000 points. So, well done. Question 4. Number 1 songs of the 1990s as reported by Billboard. So we are looking for 3 of these songs were number 1 in the 90s. So the part that you need to figure out is, was this a number 1 song? Or was this a song from the 90s? Do I have this? Must have this. Oh, here you go. Spoiler alert, Escapade was a number 1 song in the 80s. 90s. This song still slaps. That's my opinion. Janet was the best. Still pretty good. Right. Escapade by Janet Jackson. Also, Take a Bow by Madonna and Believe, the auto-tuned Wonder by Cher. And Mariah Carey actually topped all of these ladies with 14 number 1 hits. During the 90s, 10-pound Toblerone, retread breadhead, shingle nails, Garrett's for Korean, and Susu sewing shoes in 5th place with a tidy 1,000 points. Well done. Let's move on to question 5. Manufacturers of the 2-wheeled fun rides known as motorcycles. Motorcycle manufacturers. Important to note, this does not mean that the motorcycle manufacturer that is picked is solely a manufacturer of motorcycles, there are some people that do more than one thing. For example, Honda makes lawnmowers. Did you know that? I did. They also make motorcycles. But since a lot of people see Honda motorcycles, I didn't put that on there. So, in this regard, it's slightly a tricky question, but only slightly. Hydrate! Logo of baseball team. Motorcycle manufacturers include BMW, Yamaha, and Triumph. Beamer builds cars and motorcycles, and Yamaha builds everything from pianos to semiconductors. 10-pound Toblerone, retread breadhead, first to 1100, Garris Vicarian, Shingle Nails, and Susu Sewing Shoes 345, and your members of the 1,000 Point Club. Well done. Let's see. Okay, ready? On to question 6. Officers at the Battle of Gettysburg. Officers at the Battle of Gettysburg. If you were anyone, you were at Gettysburg. And if you were still alive after Gettysburg, then hopefully you weren't at Gettysburg. Whew, Gettysburg was a mess. Even bigger mess than... No, I think Antietam was a bigger mess than Gettysburg. But let us just see. One of these dudes' names lends itself to the phrase blank's charge, which is also known as a forthrightly bad idea. It's actually known as the high watermark of the Confederacy. That dude was Pickett. Pickett led a charge and then promptly got cut down. Lee led the South and Meade led the North. All right, 10-pound Toblerone, retread breadhead, and Garris Vicarian, Shingle Nails, and Susu Sewing Shoes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still the members of the 1,000 Point Club. Let's move on to question 7. Remember the previous question about motorcycle manufacturers? We are going to apply that same logic to makers of pet food. Which of these companies makes pet food? Conglomerates all. Yeah, okay. This one's tricky. Makers of pet food. Oh, you know what? Here's one. This is a hint. The singer is Bruno Mars. Come on, last day. Give me a break. Makers of pet food include Mars, that owns Pedigree, Nestle, that owns Purina, and Smuckers, which owns Meow Mix. Crazy. Look at that doggy. That's the best, goodest doggy. That is not my dog. All right. There is our leaderboard. Let's move on to the last question of the pick 3 round. We are looking for participating countries in the World Baseball Classic. Could it be? Is it? Yes! This is a sports ball question! Got to use it. Super happy. Participating countries in the World Baseball Classic, a international baseball tournament held in lots and lots of places, but usually in the United States, as the host country and the largest place of nutjob baseball fans like yours truly. Let's see. Participating countries in the World Baseball Classic on this list include Japan, Spain, and the Netherlands. Germany and Saudi Arabia have appeared multiple times in the Little League World Series, but never in the WBC. And that is the end of the pick 3 round. 10-pound Toblerone, sitting pretty, $12.50. Retread Breadhead, $11.79. Garris Vicarian, Shingle Nails, and Susu Sewing Shoes are joined by Bucci in the 1,000-point club, so well done. I am the Lorax, right behind Jennifer Michael. Everyone is so close together. This is going to be fun to see who gets the answer fast question to take home the title of winner of Richard's final Triviamatic Happy Hour hosting round. All right, so answer fast round. I think you all are familiar with answer fast. There are 5 clues that point to the same answer. I'll read them progressively, and they go from hardest to easiest. Let's see. You wake up. Okay. I spent 6 hours in the sun today watching youth baseball. I am an assistant coach. I have the very important job of guy with the tents. So it was hot today. I had a blast. Okay. Spelling counts. This is not case sensitive. All 5 hints point to the same answer. Don't put a space before or after your answer. And this is a 1-word answer. Are you ready? Here we go. I'll start reading. A 24-hour ultra-endurance mountain bike race that ran from August 1986 to 2006 in Colorado was named after me. Among the challenges designed to make competitors sick was a ride up 14,272-foot Gray's Peak. Who am I? So a 24-hour ultra-endurance mountain bike race that ran from August 1986 to 2006 in Colorado was named after me. Among the challenges designed to make competitors sick was a ride up the 14K Gray's Peak. Who am I? All right, let's move on to clue number 2. While a prisoner of the Spanish in the early 16th century, I developed a strange friendship with my captor, Hernan Cortes. We played some traditional Mexican table games and bet small gemstones on the outcome. Who am I? So Cortes is the key to that question. So while a prisoner of the Spanish in the early 16th century, I developed a strange friendship with my captor, Hernan Cortes. We played some traditional Mexican table games and bet small gemstones on the outcome. All right, clue number 3. When tourists get diarrhea traveling in Mexico, their condition is often attributed to me. All right, time for some background music. This is Wall of Voodoo, Mexican radio. So clue 3 is when tourists get diarrhea traveling in Mexico, their condition is often attributed to me. All right, question 4. There's a revenge roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm in California named after me. I'm a famous Aztec emperor whose name was likely pronounced something like Moctezuma. There's a revenge roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm in California named after me. I'm a famous Aztec emperor whose name was likely pronounced something like Moctezuma. All right, here's the last hint. The first 5 letters in my name are a variation of the spelling of the first name of the guy who hosted Let's Make a Deal. The second to last syllable sounds like a tourist attraction filled with animals. The last syllable is a 2-letter word for mother. And it sounded like Moctezuma. Alright. So to recap, there's a 24-hour ultra-endurance mountain bike race in Colorado that ran from 86 to 2006 named after me. They had to ride up 14er Gray's Peak. I was a prisoner of the Spanish in the early 16th century and made friends with Hernan Cortes and played traditional Mexican table games and bet small gemstones. When tourists traveling in Mexico get the poops, it's because they drank the water, and that's called Blank's Revenge. There's a revenge roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm in California named after me. I'm a famous Aztec emperor who sounds something like, in my original language, Moctezuma. And the first 5 letters... Okay. Got it? Everyone's got it, right? Excellent. Let's see. Sounds like Fontezuma. You know what? Here we go. I got it. If you remember the lyrics to this song, yeah, from the halls of Montezuma. By the way, the Marines' hymn was written by Jacques Offenbach. Did you know that? Didn't know that. Unlike European kings, Montezuma did not automatically inherit rulership of the Aztec Empire when his uncle died in 1502. He was selected by a council of elders and had plenty of competitions from brothers and cousins, and that is the end of Triviamatic Happy Hour on Sunday. Let's see the leaderboard. 10-pound Toblerone. Well done. Congratulations. 1471. Great score. Retread Breadhead. 1401. 2 members in the 1400 Club. Great stuff. Garrus Vicarian, Strong Showing, 3rd place. Shingle Nails, 4th place. Susu Sewing Shoes, Bunchi. All finished over 1200. I am the Lorax, just a hair out, probably because she got here late. Jennifer Michael, 1148. Also well done. And John Chinesky leaving Nick in the dust, 130 to 22. I want some music to get me out of here. Hit it! That is it for tonight's edition of Triviamatic Happy Hour. I hope you had a great time playing. There's 2 more opportunities to play tomorrow at 8 p.m. with Ethan Berlin. Yeah? Right? And the grand finale on Tuesday with Craig Reed. So, thanks again to John Chinesky, knower of all things, writer of questions, keeper of the chat. Thanks to Digital Pomegranate for having me as a host. I'm Richard Sue. It's been my pleasure to be your Triviamatic host tonight and in past evenings. I bid you farewell for now. Be safe, be kind, be patient, and in the words of that noted philosopher Bill S. Preston, say it with me, be most excellent to each other. Good night, everybody.